I don't care what time I eat steak. Man. I just eat steak, bro. It doesn't matter what time it is. What they don't realize is the worst thing to do to a kid with ADHD is tell him he's got to sit still. As soon as I eat sugar, I will eat all the sugar in the house. Like anything with sugar in it. I'm eating my kids' cereal, you know, like it's crazy, like how much you crave it, or at least in my experience, you know. The people that don't do it think you're a sociopath. You got any ice for that milk? Ice.
So weird.
Yeah.
Ice in your pop, but not your milk.
It's like, that's dumb. Why are they doing that? That's dumb, you know.
They're so stupid.
Yeah, but they enjoy it, you know. Let them experience joy. Stop dulling people's shine, you know. But it's hard work. It's hard work. I'll tell you that. You know, I see myself getting mad in traffic, you know, about how people are driving and stuff.
The scale is a terrible metric for your health. It really is, because you could be killing it 6-7 days a week and you still have these 30 or 40 pounds you want to lose and you feel like it's not working. Yeah. Don't make the scale the only metric for your success with your fitness, because you're way healthier than you would be if you were doing nothing. I mean, infinitely more. Yeah. Yo, here we go. Who we got in the house?
Your boy, Jeremy Philo.
My boy Slim Shady. I got Jeremy. How do you say that last name? I say Philo.
That's wrong.
Dang it.
Philo.
Jeremy Philo. I sound echoey still.
Yeah, it sounds.
It didn't record like that though, so I think we're good.
Yeah.
I don't know why it's doing that. Maybe you should work some of this stuff over here.
Yeah, I can take a look at it.
Do you know?
I'd have to get familiar with that board, but yeah, I mean, I know some basics of sound engineering. Not an expert, but I've got some time behind the board, you know.
Yeah, you got more than me. How old were you when you started playing an instrument?
I think it was like 6 or 7 when I started playing drums. Then got into bass guitar when I was like 12. Then I've been back and forth, bass drums, you know.
Wow.
Dabbled in the acoustic guitar. I'm not any good.
No. You said it was hard, huh?
Yeah. It's the chord structures and all that stuff is hard to do. Yeah, it's like a lot of muscle memory, and it's just not for me, man. I'm a rhythm section guy.
Yeah. Drums and bass are rhythm, right?
That's right. Yeah.
What's the guitar part called?
More the melody.
Oh.
Yeah.
So the rhythm's kind of holding the beat.
Right.
The melody's adding in that pizzazz here and there, carry the notes a little bit.
Yeah. You get most of the song structure out of either guitar or pianos, you know. They lay out the chord structure for it, and then bass is just delivering that bottom low end and helping hold it down with the drummer. Yeah.
It seems to me that the drums and the bass are the foundation. But you said something a little different. It seemed like
that's an excellent way to put it. Yeah.
Yeah. Is it? Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
For sure. I mean, they're definitely the most important people in the band.
For sure. They're definitely the most important part.
Everybody gives it to the guitar player and the singer, but dude, it's all about the bass and drums. Without them, you got nothing.
I mean, I never heard anybody put a song together that was just like singing guitar. Nobody's ever done that.
That shit. There's a couple.
Yeah, there might be. There might be a couple. But for sure, the bass and the drums are making the music.
Well, they get all the glory. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, that's for sure. We don't need those people. I forgot to start your camera. Give me a second.
That's all right. We're new at this.
Bam. Got that delay. Well, the editor, he just won't like show your face until I just turn that camera on. So it's all right.
That's all right.
It's like that. Be like that. Just remember, Jeremy, if you say something stupid, we're just going to edit it out, you know, so you can relax about that.
All right. It can be unfiltered.
Yeah. It's definitely gonna be unfiltered. You know, I don't really swear. I don't really care, but like, I feel like, and maybe I'm wrong on this, but I feel like the interviews are more like personal. When I do this thing back here, which I guess it's still on.
Yeah.
See, I'm flirting with a line right there.
Yeah.
I feel like when I do this is like my quote unquote professional side.
Mm-hmm.
But when I do the interviews, I mean, I don't want to cuss all the time, but you know, I might throw one out there. You know, we can just bleep them out.
Yeah, sometimes they slip.
Yeah. More likely to slip when I'm hanging out with a friend. So a couple things. First, as always, We're sponsoring Liquid Death today. Show them that can, Jeremy. There we go. You know, I think one day Liquid Death's going to send me some cans at the very least. So
I would hope so.
Yeah, I'm not going to say they should, but I think they would. It's really good. I'm sure there's some plastic I'm ingesting here. What do you think?
A little bit. Just the liner of the can, though.
Yeah, hopefully they don't get any hate for that.
Yeah. I mean, do a hell of a job marketing, though. That's for sure.
They do. I think it's great marketing. I covered it before. Like the first time I saw this, I was at a Jordan Peterson symposium, whatever he does. He just gets up there and rolls. And there was nothing to drink except these $8 Liquid Deaths. I'm like, well, I guess that's what I'm drinking.
Yeah, I run into that frequently. Like DCFCs, they're all about the getting rid of the single-use plastic. So there's no longer water bottles available. So it's Liquid Death or booze. Those are your options.
What's that acronym? Is that the soccer?
Yeah, Detroit City Football Club.
Yeah, that's your jam.
That's my jam.
That is your jam. What's the season on that?
They just started a couple weeks ago. So I think it's like March through, I want to say August, maybe October with the playoffs.
Oh, wow. It's a long season.
Yeah, last couple of years I've been a little out of it because my work schedule's been hectic. So I've only made it to a couple matches a year. So, but yeah, they just started. I know they start when it's real cold. And then it gets hot.
Yeah. And did you get involved right from the get-go?
No. So they started in 2012, and they're playing at Cass Tech in Detroit. And then I got involved the first year they were in Hamtramck. They play at Keyworth Stadium. So a friend of mine's had season tickets from day one. He got me involved. So that was 2015, and then I had season tickets until probably 2 years ago. Yeah.
Has it grown a lot?
Yeah. They actually just bought the old Southwest Hospital. They're moving to Detroit, 26, I believe. So that was a multi-million-dollar deal.
Oh, no kidding.
So yeah, they're looking to house a few more fans, get some more vending in there. They're buying up a lot of land around there too, doing some commercial development, maybe some residential stuff. So
that's cool to see that grow. Is there a goal to like turn into like a professional? Because I know like certain cities have like
the MLS.
Yeah, I don't even know how it works. I don't follow soccer.
Yeah, so I mean MLS is like the professional soccer league in the U.S.
What's that stand for?
Major League Soccer, I think.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then there's several other professional leagues where they're considered pros. USL being the one that Detroit's in. Play teams that are essentially like farm clubs for the MLS.
Oh, okay.
It would be cool for them to
like the minors for baseball,
right? Yeah,
gotcha.
Yeah. So there's a few of them out there that we will play, but I'm not an expert in it. I know a lot more people that know way more about it than I do.
You know more than me. Yeah, he's just a fan. It sounds like he plays for the team.
I wish. Yeah,
that's what he's training for.
Yeah. Soccer was never my sport.
Me neither. I had a cousin who played. He could kick the ball really, really far when I was a kid. That's all I remember.
I mean, we know some good soccer players.
Who's that?
George Easter is a great.
Oh, that's right.
Player.
Yeah.
Chris is good.
He's coaching at U of M.
Yeah, there's some good soccer players at the gym. Yeah. Can't forget the updates. I can see you're already moving on.
No, I'm not doing updates,
dude.
Yeah, it's a thing.
It's my favorite part of the
episode. I know it is. So you don't know. I'm going to leave you in suspense till next week.
Oh man.
No, I'm looking at the thing to see what I have. Oh yeah. So basically, if you don't know, how long you been a member of the gym?
January or February of 21. So
okay,
4th year. Yeah.
Year 4, get her done. And so, me and Jeremy spend time together. We hang out outside the gym. He's a funny guy most of the time. And we had talked about, we've talked about nutrition on and off, and we actually did some stuff together. We did some fasting stuff with you, right?
Yeah. We did round of fasting. I think it was 4 months where I'd go 5-day fast. Give it 3 weeks, do another one.
Yeah, 5-day fast. 5-day fast once a month.
Yeah.
We did that for 4 months.
Yeah, I think I'm about to get into that again.
Yeah, well, it definitely works. I mean,
for sure.
If getting weight off is the goal and, kind of cleaning up, it's always the debate on that. For when I got into it, when I was learning about it, it was a definitive here, and this is definitive what is happening, right? So you're not taking in amino acids, fatty acids, and energy, and therefore you don't die. Right? Just because you didn't eat in the past 3 hours doesn't mean you die. Your body actually can get access to those amino acids and fatty acids through what's already inside you. And so what is going on is that autophagy thing, and like you're breaking down and catabolizing the amino acids from less optimal, quote unquote, junky tissues and feeding the amino acid needs of your body and the fatty acids and energy and all that stuff. So everybody was on board, you know, and then, but now, like, what kind of some studies showed was that, well, exercise is basically mimicking fasting. So if you do intense exercise, you're creating inside the cell, you're creating an environment that's requiring amino acids and fatty acids that are at a higher rate than it can be delivered. So your body goes into that similar type process. So some people are going, well, fasting is not going to create these health benefits as we thought it did. But I disagree. I think that, what do I think? I think that that's two different things. I think not eating is a very different environment than exercising, right? And I still think those benefits will be there. Somebody just needs to kind of tease out the differences. But we had done that, and so we got to talking like a couple weeks ago, like it was a few months ago, maybe. Remember, I was in class that day.
Yeah,
it was by the rig. I don't remember how the conversation came up.
Probably more so out of frustration. Like it's something I've been trying to nail down for a while, and just really struggling with it. And just, you know, I like to get that free fitness advice whenever I can. You know, so I try to squeeze in a lot of questions.
You're paying. It's never free when I'm in class.
That's true. That's true.
It's only free outside of class.
There you go.
Hit that liquid death.
Yeah, just always trying to figure out a way to negotiate, you know, more than what I pay for.
You know, I can respect that.
Something I learned.
It's a skill. So I thought, let's try and break this down on a podcast. That's what I thought. So that's what we're going to attempt to do. I would like to come out of this with hopefully you have some clarity. I think you know, this is a thing. Like people do know, like, oh, I need to do these things, but the rubber meets the road. And what I've noticed as a coach is that, well, okay, now we got to get that built into your life.
Right.
Right. It's one thing to say, yeah, well, I know I need to, track my food and eat less and increase my protein intake. Okay, great. We know we need to do that. But then how do we then like put a plan together to where you're actually doing that?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if we can come out of this podcast with that, it sounds like a miracle. I can't even see how it's going to happen right now. We're just going to talk. And if we get some of that, it'll be great. But if we don't, it's going to be fun. That's what we'll get out of it. It's fun. So the outline for today is we're going to get into your background a little bit. I got to put these glasses on again.
Man. Welcome to my world.
Yeah. Outline, background. We're going to get your background a little bit. He's got a list of questions, or he's got some questions, some general nutrition questions. And so we'll get into that, and then we'll try and put a plan together. We'll probably have to have you like pen and paper. I don't know.
Yeah.
So we talked about your musical background a little bit. You still play?
Not very often. Yeah, work's been, more demanding. So I travel a lot. So, I was playing at church for a while, and that requires midweek rehearsal that I can't always get to. And then it takes up a lot of time on the weekends. Then a buddy of mine that I was playing with for a while, when he would play live in Detroit, I was part of his band, but he moved down to Nashville with the band he's in. So yeah, all my spots were kind of just gone.
When was the last time you were playing like live in front of people?
Man, it honestly is before COVID. So
oh, no kidding.
Yeah. I think we played in Grand Rapids. I think the February of 20. Yeah, right before everything shut down. We got one final good show in with, it was packed. It was fun.
Where were you?
Where was it? The Pyramid Scheme in Grand Rapids.
How big is the audience there?
I think there was probably like 400 to 500 people.
Wow, no kidding.
Yeah, it was a good spot.
How do you feel in that environment? You just like love it, or are you a little nervous, or what's going on there?
Yeah, my anxiety's gotten real bad over the years. I'm always afraid that I'm gonna like black out and forget everything.
No kidding.
Yeah. It's actually happened before.
Oh, Jesus.
so yeah, just repetition. Like I got to practice a lot.
Yeah,
and then there, like, I'll typically have a couple drinks before I go on stage just to kind of calm the nerves,
grease the groove a little.
That's it,
That helps with that.
Liquid courage.
Is that pretty common with musicians, you think? Like having some drinks before they go out?
Yeah, I think it depends on who it is, and just the amount they get in front of people, I think.
Yeah, I mean, if you're doing it every other night, like I'm sure it just comes second nature.
Yeah. Like I know quite a few people that are, sober that play all the time, and it's just people just love to perform.
Mm-hmm.
I've always been more of a background person. I don't like the spotlight. I don't like a lot of attention. I like to just kind of, you
don't like cameras and microphones on you. Somebody drilling you with questions.
Yeah. This is it's weird, but it'll give me experience for work because I got to do this stuff for work too.
Oh, do you? What do you do for work?
Sales and consulting for a title insurance underwriter.
Okay.
So I sell title insurance to title companies, essentially.
Title insurance to title. Wow. So title companies have insurance.
Well, yes and no. So they issue the insurance. So I work for the underwriters. So
you're an insurance source.
Allow people to write their policies on our paper.
Okay. Yeah. And so you have to present, I'm guessing?
Yeah, a lot of presentations. We do, some continuing education for realtors, basically anything our customers are asking us to do. We do a lot of fraud talks and stuff like that. I'm on a committee for the Michigan Land Title Association, so sometimes I have to present for that. But yeah, just real anxious
situations.
Yeah, I talk real fast.
Do you?
And I got to get out of there as soon as possible.
Wow. Stop that.
I know.
Have fun. I mean, you like people.
I do like people.
Yeah.
But I'm way more of like a one-on-one or like a very small group kind of person, I mean, I think people see a different side of me at the gym. It's the spot where I feel like most comfortable, and I'm always in a good mood, so I'm always willing to,
Yeah, and the spotlight's really whatever is on the coach. Really, you're kind of like there, just giving the coach a hard time.
Exactly.
So that's fun for everybody.
Yeah. I feel like that's probably what I'm best at.
What you should do is you should give people, when you're doing a presentation, you should give people in the audience a hard time.
That's a good idea.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think that's kind of what stand-up comedians do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not calling myself a comedian by any stretch of the imagination.
Jeremy's a funny guy. What we got on here? So a little more background. Why not? We're here. You're not going to make class today, by the way, in case you didn't notice.
Yeah.
It's 4:44. Class starts at 5:30.
Right. Better let Ray know.
Yeah. Everybody at the gym's going to listen to this. It's so funny. Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Detroit.
Dang.
Yeah. Little spot, Warrendale, as it's called, as it's referred to, Ford and Evergreen. Common spot for police officers and firefighters to live. My dad was a police officer when you had to live in the city of Detroit. So we were there until 92. So 5th grade, moved out to Canton, which was...
A change?
A huge change, yeah. Yeah. So went from a very small private school to a very large public school. But it was good. I think it was a good change, a necessary change, because I grew up with ADHD. So that small Catholic school that I went to in Detroit skipped a lot of recesses because I wasn't doing my classwork. And that was the punishment.
So you didn't skip. You weren't allowed.
Wasn't allowed. Yeah, sit inside and work on your classwork when really it's just me staring at the window watching all my friends.
Because you still can't do it.
Yeah, watching all my friends play. What they don't realize is the worst thing to do to a kid with ADHD is tell him he's got to sit still.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
So they had a lot more resources for me basically when I moved to Canton. They had a better understanding of kids with ADHD, things that they need, things that help them, so it was getting more tools and allowed me to actually get through high school. My parents always joke that I probably wouldn't have made it if it wasn't for those resources in high school.
So what grade were you in when you went to Canton?
5th.
Oh, so it was early. I thought
it
was be later than that. Okay. Yeah, that's a big help.
Yeah, it was a big help. Yeah, it was easier for me to adapt. My brother had a hard time. 7th grade is harder to make
it's a tougher
friends.
group. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, very different environment, different group of kids. What's funny is I think 7 or 8 of the kids that I went to grade school with ended up in the same high school as me down the road. So Canton was like a popular spot to move from where we were at.
Kind of like first landing after Detroit.
Yeah. Like Detroit and like parts of Dearborn Heights, like borders of Dearborn Heights. So like a lot of kids went from there to Canton. So yeah, it was funny running into them down the road.
Yeah, I bet. Interesting with the ADHD thing. So the help just wasn't really there.
You're dealing with mostly retired teachers. Like they retire from public school, then they go on to private school to teach because they don't get paid. And the school doesn't even exist today, you know.
Gotcha.
And when I started in kindergarten, there was probably like 25 kids. By the time they all got to 8th grade, I think there was like 10 or 12 of them left. You know, it's like every year a couple kids would leave, go to a different school district, you know.
Gotcha. Yeah, so there's kind of filtering out of there.
Yeah, depleting. Yeah, right. And then the church was shrinking as well, you know, as older people, you know, can't attend.
Yeah, the new generation isn't like going.
Right. And they're just moving out of the area, too. I mean, it wasn't like a bad area of Detroit as far as Detroit's concerned, but I mean, they still like blew up our car in our driveway. They, you know, my best friend's next door neighbor's house burnt down, you know. My childhood home no longer exists. Somebody burned it down, you know. So, yeah, it's not a great area. I mean,
yeah, well, that didn't happen to me. You know, I don't remember the car blowing up.
Yeah.
Or the house burning down. So, yeah, some extracurricular activities going on.
Right. I mean, it makes for some exciting living, but
I'm sure it does. Did you play sports, man? I don't remember.
I did, yeah. I played a lot of sports.
Yeah, what'd you play?
So, real young, I did play soccer and got into karate a little bit, but then I really got into baseball, hockey, football, and a couple years of basketball. Yeah.
You said all of them, basically, you said.
I tried everything, really. So I did karate and soccer at the YMCA in the neighborhood.
How long did you do that for?
Just 2 years, I think. But I was real young, so that was, you know, 5, 6 years old. Then I got into t-ball, which led to baseball. Baseball was like my sport.
No kidding. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I loved it.
How long did you play baseball?
As long as I could remember. I think I started when I was like 3 or probably 4 in t-ball, and then I quit my freshman year, I think after freshman year, and started working like a dummy. Yeah, man. Right. Big mistake.
It is, because you got your whole life to work.
Yeah, that's right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What's the hurry? I
mean,
mean,
as soon as I start working, it's funny how quick that faucet turns off from your parents. You know what I mean? Like, you got a job, you want something, go buy it yourself, you know?
Well, you know, it's getting you ready for adulthood.
That's what ultimately got me into music, though, is like, you know, my parents were into sports. Like, they loved that I played football and hockey, and well, they probably didn't love that I played hockey. That was an expensive one.
It is.
My dad coached basketball. He coached my brother in basketball. He coached me in baseball. So I played a few years of all of those. But yeah, if I would have stuck with baseball, it would have probably postponed me getting into music. So like one of my first paychecks, I went and bought a drum set. You know, it's like I didn't have drums for a while, and I've always like gone back to playing the drums. But yeah, as soon as I could afford it, I went and bought my own drums. Yeah, you know, and then that really drove my parents nuts. They didn't get the music thing. I mean, they're supportive, but they just didn't get it.
Yeah. Well, it's a lot of banging going on.
A lot of banging.
Know?
Yeah, a lot of banging.
A
lot of racket. A lot of racket.
There you go. A lot of hitters. Well, you know, banging on the drums, you know. Gotta watch out.
Yeah.
A lot of that lately. What was your nutritional environment like growing up? Was mom at home cooking?
No.
Was it, you know, because I remember for me, you know, pretty much mom or me and my brothers would cook a dinner.
Right.
Every night somebody was going to cook a dinner. And that rolled all the way till, you know, I was like 15. And then something changed. Then it turned into a $20 bill and go get some fast food. Yeah. That's dinner. So what was that like for you? That's
funny because it was, like I said, we moved to Canton in 92. So that was like my dad got injured and he decided to retire early from the police department. So what he did was he went back to school to become a physical therapy assistant.
That's right.
He was in school. So it was my responsibility to cook dinner every day.
Oh,
so
I
it was
a lot.
And I mean a lot of hamburger helper.
What'd your mom do for work?
My mom managed customer service at payroll.
He said hamburger helper. Let's go.
Helper every day.
It ran in my head.
Yeah.
So what'd your mom do again?
So she's like a client support manager at ADP, the payroll company.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. So she worked there for, I think, 40 years. She was there a long time.
Wow.
Yeah. So she put in a lot of hours. So like my dad was in school. my mom was working a ton, and I'd get off the bus, pick up my sister from elementary school, and then walk her home, and then start dinner. So yeah, it was my responsibility every day to cook dinner, because like my brother was like heavily involved in track and all that stuff. So he was always like after school practices, and then my dad would pick him up, and then by the time they got home,
the musician is getting the hamburger helper ready.
I better have dinner on the table for the family. That's right.
Did you get to pick, or was it like, hey, this is what you're making tonight?
I mean, it's pretty much like there's hamburger helper in the cabinet. There's hamburger in the freezer.
Yeah. So who's doing the grocery shopping?
My dad. My dad did the grocery shopping.
He's just going to buy
my mom. Yeah, between him and my mom, they would make it
figure it
happen.
out.
Yeah.
So they're just going grabbing whatever they think they should be eating and sticking it somewhere, and you're going, well, this is what I get to pick from tonight.
Oh yeah. But like my mom never cooked, like ever.
No kidding.
Yeah, I mean she'd make a handful of things, but that was never her strong thing. She probably still doesn't cook. I think she goes out to eat.
Let's just clarify real quick. Like, hamburger helper is not cooking.
No,
okay, it's not.
No. It's when you're cooking the hamburger, you're heating
you
up.
You do cook the
else.
hamburger, so you've fried up many pounds of hamburger.
So many pounds. Yeah. And knowing what I know now about protein, I would have doubled the hamburger.
There you go. I mean? There you go. We only knew.
If we only knew. Yeah. The sodium. I can only imagine how much sodium I've consumed in my life.
Yeah. Well, it just passes through you. It's all flow through, man. It doesn't stick around. Yeah, that hamburger helper, we definitely had some of that going on. That was a big hitter sometimes. I'm trying to think. Like, my mom would cook real, like, she'd be frying up pork chops and putting sauerkraut. She made some German dishes. She made this really good, what do we call it? Cabbage soup. It was basically like...
My dad makes cabbage soup.
Oh, is that right?
Cabbage and kielbasa.
Nope.
No? Different cabbage soup then.
Yeah.
It was good.
It was basic. What are those things called where you stuffed cabbage, right?
Yeah.
It was basically like stuffed cabbage.
Oh, okay.
So I had beef, I had tomatoes, I had the cabbage.
Yeah.
It was really good.
So like a deconstructed
basically
cabbage.
Turned into a soup. It wasn't water. It was really thick, more like a stew.
Okay.
Yeah, it was really good. And she'd make like these different, she'd like the hamburger on the bottom and then the potato and then some cheese on top. But it started to evolve into the hamburger helper type stuff, and then it evolved into the fast food.
Right.
And there was never any desserts in the house. That's one thing I do remember until about the same time frame. Then she'd come home and she'd bring home some donuts or some cupcakes or whatever. Might have been 13, 14 or something like that.
Right.
Yeah, so that's what's going on. How long did that kind of eating style, which was basically hamburger helper and what else?
A lot of sandwiches, tons of lunch meat.
You guys drinking milk about a gallon?
Yeah, quite a bit of milk. I enjoyed a glass of milk with dinner. Some ice, some milk on the rocks. I still don't mind it, to be honest, man. It's good.
Oh, no way, man.
Yeah, you gotta get that milk cold.
Dude, I could not get into the milk with the ice, dude. Like,
you got to. You're missing out.
Milk and ice, baby. Let's go.
Yeah. Then do a bunch of cardio after.
Yeah.
All phlegmy.
Oh, my God, dude. That's funny. That is a thing. Some people ice the milk, and some people don't.
The colder, the better, man.
But it's a black and white thing, right? Either one or the other. There's no sometimes,
The people that don't do it think you're a sociopath. You got any ice for that milk? Ice.
So weird.
Yeah.
Ice in your pop, but not your milk.
I don't ice anything anymore.
So was there desserts? Was there pop? Was there sweets?
There was some pop. I didn't really go overboard with it, though. But, there's a lot. I think everything was like available, like if we want a Pop-Tarts or something, some stuff like that, granola bars.
Toaster strudel if you were really getting it done.
Yeah, right, with the icing.
You
ice it yourself.
But the flaky.
Dude. Yeah.
So much better than a Pop-Tart.
Seriously. And especially now, man, the Pop-Tarts now are weak.
Are they?
Bro, they're shorting you on icing. Like, it's pathetic how much icing they put on a
Pop-Tart. On the icing, huh?
It's terrible.
What about the filling? The filling still?
Filling still sucks, yeah. They call it fruit filling. That ain't.
We're not going to get sponsored by Pop-Tarts, that's for sure.
I don't think you want that sponsor.
I'll take anything right now. Just kidding. I wouldn't. Just on principle.
Definitely not a lot of homemade desserts. But, anytime there's ice cream in the house, it's getting destroyed.
When you were a kid or present day?
I think my whole life, that's always been a huge weakness of mine is like the ice cream and stuff like that.
I really used to enjoy ice cream as well, but it got so bad digesting it that it's like I haven't had it in 7-8 years, like literally. Yeah. Maybe I had a little bit once or twice. I'm not exaggerating.
Right.
Just because the next day it's such a, I just don't like that experience at all. Yeah, it's such got a negative thing tied to it that I don't even need it now.
I kind of wish that would happen to me. I wish it would make me miserable.
Yeah, it's
because then it'd be a hell of a lot easier to avoid.
Yeah, you know? Exactly.
Now it's like, dude, if I eat sugar now, I'm looking for it everywhere. You know what I mean? Like as soon as I eat sugar, I will eat all the sugar in the house. Like anything with sugar in it. I'm eating my kids' cereal, you know, like it's crazy, like how much you crave it, or at least in my experience.
So if you cut it out for a while, that goes away, and then you eat it again and you're back on.
Yeah. I think so.
Interesting.
I have to cut it out for a longer period of time before I let you know. Have to get back on that 75 hard.
Those programs are interesting.
Dude, day 76 is what you look forward to the whole time. The whole time.
You're
man.
Just like, this sucks. Why am I doing this? Dude. But then you got that, you know, it's these tough, kind of hard dudes, and like you feel like, man, I'm going to quit on them. I'll be a quitter. Right. They're going to think I'm going to quit. You kind of get that internal judgment going that drives you through the whole process. I never did that. But I did some hard stuff, you know what I mean? I'd put myself on these programs, but yeah, that one's like, the challenge is, yeah, you're looking forward to coming off. When you come off, you're just like, think, I don't want to do that again.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, for me, it was like, I really enjoyed it for the fact that, like, okay, I'm going to start this thing and I'm going to finish it. I've always allowed myself to kind of give up on things, you know. Then I beat myself up about it. This is like, I started it and then I was able to finish it. But yeah, day 50, dude, you're like, I hate this. This sucks. You know, it's so miserable. And 25 days from then, it's like, it seems like forever.
Yeah.
Then it's like, I don't want to start over at day one. If I have to start over, I'm not doing it again.
Mm-hmm.
So I just powered through. But the thing that I liked about it is it made me look at my day and actually break it down and say, okay, I can squeeze in a workout here. I can squeeze in a workout here. And then plan accordingly.
Yeah, it's interesting.
I suffer from the time blindness. So it's like I need to be better about planning and actually like living by the schedule.
Time blindness. I've never heard that.
Yeah.
What's all that about?
It's a common ADD term. You know, it's like not taking into consideration how long it takes to get places, or how long it's going to take you to get ready, or just getting distracted while you're getting ready, or, you know, I got to send this email out, but, you know, I've got these other things to do. I'm going to go do these other things. And like, people are waiting on you. And by the time you realize, like, oh, damn, it's, you know, 2 hours later and you didn't accomplish everything that you wanted to.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah. Just being able to stay focused on what you need to get done that day and having a plan.
Yeah.
So it was good for that.
For sure.
It dialed you in. You committed to this thing. I got to stay focused. I got to plan my day. Because you have to get all these things in, so now you're forced to plan your day.
Right.
That's one of the challenges if you have too much time on your hand, is you just don't get things done because there's no real time pressure on it.
Right. Got good at habit stacking too.
Yeah.
You know, part of the program is like you got to read 10 pages of a nonfiction book, you know, and you got to get a 45-minute workout in outside. So, dude, I moved my stationary bike outside and put a lamp, you know, out there, and just I read. Like,
I remember that.
Yeah, I'd ride my bike for 45 minutes out in the driveway.
I'm like, this guy's crazy.
Yeah, dude. My neighbors look at me like, what the hell is this dude doing?
Sweating, nighttime.
Getting it in. Yeah, and it was cold out too. Like, yeah, I was all bundled up. And I started in like February. I wanted to be done by my birthday. I started like late January, early February.
When's your birthday?
May 4th.
May the 4th be with you.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say
so
that,
lucky, man.
Yeah, I have no idea what that reference
means. When did that
means.
start?
What?
That saying, it's May the Force be with you.
Yeah, I know.
Star Wars.
Yeah, that's what I'm told. I don't know. I've never understood the
reference.
reference.
The denial's fine.
I always love to just
it's like time blindness, kind of.
Yeah, I love to act like I never heard of Star Wars when people say that to me. They're like, may the 4th be with you. And I said, I don't understand. They're like, you like Star Wars?
That's exactly what you just did to me.
So never heard of it.
We know you like doing it. So you got forced to stay focused.
Yeah.
You know, my mindset was just, I don't want to poo-poo them. I just, you know my thinking, right? If we're going to make a change, people, 90-day transformations, 6-week challenges, 75 hards, they're cool. They have value. And I think that's what you're pointing out. I just get hung up on like, well, if we're going to change something, aren't we changing it forever? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if I want to eat right, I don't want to be going on a diet and coming off a diet. I just want to change the way I eat. That way, you know, I'm healthy for the rest of my life. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's why I think what isn't great about those things, you got to learn, you got to understand where you're at and what tool you need right now. So they force you to get organized. But the other thing you said, which was interesting, was like, I had quit at a lot of things. And so that gave you an opportunity to learn how to not quit.
Yeah.
And that's hugely valuable.
Went right back to it, though. You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing.
Did you keep any of the habits from that?
Not religiously, no. I mean, I'm pretty good at working out every day, or at least most days, you know. Reading, I try to read more, but like I don't hold myself to the 10 pages a day. I should. I want to. But again, if it's not planned into the day, it just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
You know, that's where I'm struggling. Probably the second most in my life right now is just trying to fit everything in and be present for, you know, for like my daughter, you know, people who rely on me. That's number one. But it's like also there's everything else, you know, and trying to squeeze it all in, something's got to give. And typically reading's the first thing to go out the window.
Is it just there's just not enough time in the day, or you need to be better organized with your day?
I need to be better organized with my day.
How do you do that? How does Germany begin to do that?
You know, I haven't developed the system, you know,
you definitely need a system.
That's what I think, you know, needs the most focus, or at least it's something that is ever changing. Again, just based on my schedule, like no 2 days are the same, whether I'm at work or not at work, you know. My work is like, like this week, I leave tomorrow morning for Green Bay. I'm gone until Friday afternoon.
Oh, because the travel.
Some days I'm working from home. Other days I've got 3 meetings scheduled, and I'm all over town driving and all that stuff, you know. So it's I think looking at it on a weekly basis, you know, starting Sunday and just really focusing on, all right, these are the meetings that I have scheduled.
Plan the week.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially with meal prep and stuff like that. But yeah, it's, you know, when can I get to the gym? When, you know, where am I eating? You know, what meetings do I have scheduled? Are they lunch meetings? Are they dinner meetings? Who are they with? Where are they at? And just kind of piecing it all together and, you know, and then sticking to it, you know, and then still scheduling in time for downtime, you know. Got to schedule in that rest and eating and snacking and all of that, you know? Well, so, yeah, it's something I've been working on, and I haven't been as diligent as I would like to get it done. You know, again, it's one of those things I kind of just let slide. And every day that I don't go into the day having it planned out, it's a scramble.
It's going to turn into grab something real quick.
I'm tired of scrambling. And that's
what I was going to ask you.
So when I reached out, I need help, you know, like I got to figure this out, you know, and you're a very regimented person, you know, so it's like pointers from you and just asking you a lot of questions about that.
Yeah.
And then also like, what should I do? I got all these lunch and dinner meetings. What does that look like? How can I keep that under control?
Because we should talk about that stuff. I was going to help you fire your cheesy AI questions off, but...
Nah, let's just get to it. I don't need these cheesy AI questions.
We talked about like him having some questions for me, and I thought they would come from like his life and trying to answer. That's what we're going to do right now. That's what's about to happen, which is fantastic. So... let's do this. Why don't you take the pen and paper? Because you're going to write this stuff down. I'm not.
Going to be exposed for not being able to write.
Yeah, well, I can't see, so I get exposed on that all the time. So you can't try and read what I wrote there. I can't read what I wrote there. That is a fancy pen. Don't.
No body.
Is that what it says?
No,
it's not. It's not. Good call. No Body Podcast. North Industry sponsors this podcast. So let's write this down. What doesn't get missed in your life? Work. Right? Stuff like that.
Absolutely.
You ever go, you know what? Work slipped through the cracks there. I just didn't get to it.
Yeah.
Some things, I would imagine, right? Because you get the task and some of the detail stuff, but like work itself is not going to get missed.
Right.
It's not okay.
Right.
It can't.
Right. Right.
Interesting. So write down work.
All right. Work is on the list.
You don't fall off on your fitness either, really.
I try not to. I mean, you know, them deload weeks I take real serious.
Do you?
Yeah, I deload. You know,
okay.
like
so on a deload week, you might not be coming in.
You might not see me.
Okay. Yeah. What about when you travel? Do you ever work out when you travel?
So when I'm traveling, that's where my fitness would struggle the most. Yeah, it depends on again where I'm staying, like if they have a gym, all of that stuff. You know, I have stayed in some cities where I'm like, oh, maybe I'll check out the CrossFit gym there, and then I wimp out.
Have you ever done it?
No.
What keeps you from doing that?
I'd say fear.
Fear of what?
Just, you know, not being able to hang.
Hang.
Yeah. Or I just don't wake up in time. You know what I mean? I don't have like those like, oh, I need to get to the gym by 6:30. It's like I have a meeting at 8. And then it's like, oh, I didn't wake up in time. Whoops.
And the class was at
6. Yeah.
Yeah, you could definitely make that.
Could. And that's the thing. It's not a matter of if I can or can't. You know what I'm saying? It's the execution. I know exactly what I should be doing, but it's the execution. And I'm not.
Do you feel like do you think you could put a plan together for your travel that you could ace or do, you know, get 80% out of 100 on, hey, I worked out, I ate properly, you know, I took care of myself when I was traveling. You think you can do that? You put that plan together.
I know I can do it. It's developing the plan to do it for sure and executing.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm asking. Do you think you could put the plan together?
I need to. It's not,
could you?
Do I think I can? I need to. No, I haven't.
You never sat down and like planned?
Just winging it on the road.
Well, there's a place we could look at it, right? Because you two pretty good at home and you travel a lot. So that's a big, you know, what % of the time are you traveling?
Typically it's like, you know, 6 to 10 days a month.
So 30% of your life, you're not doing the things that you think you should be doing.
Right. Yeah. I'd say it. Yeah.
All right.
It's accurate.
All right.
I pack bands with me every time I go somewhere.
No kidding.
Yeah.
I almost said the S word. Good job, Dennis.
Yeah. Good job, Dennis.
Yeah.
You know how many times I've pulled them out of the suitcase, though?
I don't.
It'd be 0.
0.
Take
the bands. Bands are kind of
I know.
lame.
But again, I'm not staying at like, you know, Ritz-Carlton or something with an expert fitness facility.
Here's what we need.
Yeah.
We need solutions that you will do.
Right.
Right? So if something's too far out of range, you're planning to do things that you could do, but man, it just takes too much. Takes too much. Yeah. There's too many reasons not to. So you got to back that down to something like, I got literally no excuse to not do this. So exercise is pretty easy.
Yeah.
You got a hotel room, right?
Yeah. It's just a matter of
It's
a matter of doing it, man.
Write down 3 workouts that you would do in the hotel room. That you would do. Like, hey, that's no big deal. I can rip that out.
That's why I like the bands.
What do you do with the bands?
I don't know.
You can do some like reverse flies and strengthen your scabs.
You know what I don't want to do in a hotel room? Push-ups.
You don't want to do push-ups?
No. The floor is gross, bro.
Can we have a solution for that?
I mean, sure. What do you got?
What do you got? How do you solve that? How do you solve for gross floor?
Towels, I guess.
Towels?
Yeah. Yoga mat. Not carrying.
You could do extra towels.
I could do extra towels.
You don't have to bring a mat.
Right.
Right? You could just be like, hey, when you check in, like, hey, I need some extra towels.
Yeah.
Boom.
Extra towels.
Extra towels.
Maybe like that was this guy's problem.
I mean, I already got the workout that I would do in my head.
What would you do?
100 burpees.
Dude.
No questions asked. I'm going to do 100 burpees in less than 10 minutes. That's my workout.
Yeah, I don't hate myself, though. So.
All right.
I mean, the burpee and I do need to become better friends.
It's just it's so effective. You know, you're going to get muscular fatigue. Your heart rate's going to be through the roof. You're going to get uncomfortable. It's going to be a stimulus. You're going to feel better 30 minutes later, right? It's going to do exactly what you want it to do.
I'll write it down, but I doubt I'm going
to. Yeah, well, I don't know if 100 you're you know.
100 is not my number.
Yeah, so what you can do, though, is you can say
60 is closer.
You can pick a number. So let's write down 3 workouts, 60 burpees for time. There you go. And one of the values of doing workouts that are for time or for reps or anything like that is it makes it a little bit more interesting. You're not just doing burpees. Right?
Yeah.
Oh, last time I did it, it took me this long. Oh, this time it took me this long. There's something, and if you're interested in numbers and you're interested in like seeing things get better, it just gives another little psychological motivator to make it interesting.
Right.
So there's 60 burpees. What else? Got the towels down. Nothing holding you back.
Got them towels down. I mean, air squats, man.
Air squats.
Yeah. Rip off 300 of those.
Let's go. Quads on swole.
That's right.
Let's just get jacked before we go to this.
I mean, I can do everything in the Murph without the pull-ups. You know what I mean?
You could. You could sub the pulls for sit-ups.
Yeah.
You could work on that midline a little.
There we go. A half Murph. I mean, let's be reasonable. I'm not to the level where I could do a full Murph every day.
No, not yet.
Not yet. I will be.
Another lifetime, maybe. Just kidding. You could if you wanted, but you don't want it that bad.
I mean,
it's not that important to you, which is fine. You're not trying to be like great at Murph. You're trying to have good fitness and health.
Right. It would be good to be to the point where like a half Murph would be like, yeah, that's a good workout for today. You know what I mean? Like I'm at a hotel. There's no weights here, so I'll just rip off a half Murph and sub out the pull-ups for sit-ups. Yeah. And that be like a decent, a good workout. Like
50,
full,
100,
full, I'd be
150.
Extra fatigued.
For sure.
But a half, I think, is digestible.
It's very digestible. And you believe you would do
that? Yeah, I think I could.
You got another workout.
Boom, half Murph.
Write it down.
Sit-ups.
You need 3 because you need options.
Yeah.
You're going to look at the list.
You can't do the same thing every day.
You can, but that sucks. But you're going to look at that and you're going to get to one of the key psychological things for motivation is you get to choose, right? You're not forced into doing this thing. You get to make a choice. Which one of these do I want to do today? Because when forcing something is tyranny, right? Like you're being forced to do something. When you get to choose to do something, you're voluntarily getting into it. And it's just a different mindset.
Right.
You're going to feel better about the whole process.
Yeah.
All right, we need one more.
This is where you're the expert, man. I would, you know what I would do? I'd ask AI.
Totally. Good.
I had AI write me a workout for Sunday. It was awesome.
Did you do it?
Yeah, I did it.
Where'd you do it at?
At the gym, man.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Well, they came up with something I didn't like at all. I'm like, I'll figure something out, do my own thing.
I like that. At least you got something, man. That's good. You could go to the AI.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of a crapshoot. You could be staring at the AI going, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that.
Well, you just tell us, sub this for something better. Roll the dice again.
Yeah, because you don't want to have to bring equipment. That's another step.
Right.
And I really hope I don't sound like... I'm going to sound like this in the recording.
You sound clean to me, though. I sound like I'm like echoey. I don't know about these
Yeah,
headphones.
you sound totally clean to me.
Oh, okay. Must be one headphone's messing up the other one's sound, you know what I mean?
You think so? Some kind of feedback?
Yeah, I think it's good.
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah. You recording, by the way?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, let me double check. Good point, Jeremy. God. Still rolling. I would solve for this right now. I wouldn't leave it open to the AI. All right. So...
Well, you're putting me on the spot. I'm not...
Yeah. Well, helping you think through it, Helping you think through it. So we got burpees. You could do another burpee variation. I don't know if that's a great idea. You could do like a chipper type.
Yeah,
you could mix up the body weight. You do like chippers?
I'm a fan of the chippers.
Yeah, I mean, let's see if we can think of any other movements. You could do You got push-ups already. You got sit-ups. You got air squats. You got lunges, right?
I mean, yeah, I can.
You could do lunges. You can do Russian twists.
Oof,
here we go.
Those.
That's why you need to do them.
I know.
Love the hate.
Just make up a workout.
Russian
twists.
Just do a couplet. Just do a couplet. Yeah, this is perfect. You got a single, right, with the burpees. You got a triplet with the 3 movements, and now we got a couplet. We're just going to do lunges and Russian twists.
Ooh.
Just do stationary too.
Stationary. Yeah.
Stationary.
And walking lunges down the hall.
What the half Murph is? You're going to go 5, 10, 15 through it. I'm guessing.
Yeah. So I like to break it up. I do five push-ups, and then I would hit the sit-ups. Then I would hit 5 more.
Whatever you want to do on that.
Yeah.
I guess you can't really do a chipper because you can't do a chipper with a couplet. I mean, we could write 4 workouts and compile all this together.
Yeah.
But here's the thing about making just decisions. If you have 10 things to choose from, you can't choose anything.
Right.
There's too many options.
Right. It's
so
like Cheesecake Factory, dude. You look at that menu.
How do they do that?
I don't know. It's insane.
It's so insane.
It is.
I mean, I don't think it's definitely not like the best food in the world, but man, it's darn good. It's tasty.
Right. I mean, I felt the same way when I went to Red Olive the first time. You see that menu?
I don't know.
It's like
they got a big menu too?
Man.
Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Where do they keep all the food?
It's a great question. They probably just use the same stuff and just...
Cheesecake. You know what cheesecake does me? It makes me angry.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, nobody likes that side.
So you stick with your blueberry pie.
Don't let all my secrets.
Yeah, that's true.
Have we done an AMRAP yet? We haven't, so let's do an AMRAP. How long? Do you want it medium? Medium. Like 10, 12?
Yeah, I think it's 12
60 burpees.
12 to 15 minutes is probably, if I'm going pretty hard, I just want to get done with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hate seeing those, 30-minute Metcons.
Yeah,
it's like, oof.
Now when you're traveling, you're not going to do it. All right, let's go 12. You're going to do escalating reps. So, what do we got? 4. That'd be hard to count now that I think about it. 2 and 1. Go 2 and 1 all the way.
2 and 1 for lunges and Russian twists.
Yeah. 2 lunges, 1, 2, Russian twist. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 Russian twist. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right, goes up by 2s, goes up by 1.
Okay. Well, I'd start at 2. 2, 4? No, 2.
Russian twist
the
is
Russian
1.
twist is 1.
Yeah.
Over and back is 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
2 is 1.
So lunges, 2.
It's 1, 2.
Right. 2 lunges, 2 Russian twists. 4 lunges, 4 Russian twists. Is that what you're talking about?
No, I'm not.
I don't get what you're saying, man.
You could if you want to go 1, 2 for a Russian twist, but I don't do that.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
2, 1, yeah.
Yeah, 2 is 1. All right.
All right.
So you got 3 workouts now.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you travel, you got to plan it in the day. When am I going to get this workout in?
First thing in the morning, man.
First thing in the morning. I'm going to get up. I'm going to have a little coffee. You like coffee?
Love coffee.
Dude, get my coffee, get my jazz on. Do you play music in the morning?
Sometimes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Hydrate. Do a little warm-up, whatever, move around a little bit, and then just hit the switch. Bam. Get it done.
Boom.
You feel like a champ.
Yeah. That's a good idea. I like that. I do walk a lot.
Yeah. Like
weather permitting, yeah, I'll get to a hotel or whatever, and depending on where I'm at, I'll go out for a walk.
Yeah, that's
walk
great.
for an hour or something.
Oh, cool.
'Cause I'm tired of driving. I need to get that blood flowing to my legs.
For sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got a solution for exercise.
Exercise, yeah.
Well, we got to get that other component going, that nutrition.
Right.
What's nutrition look like now when you travel?
A lot of eating out or not eating at all.
Yeah, well, I figured that. So, you're not going grocery shopping and cooking in the hotel. I get that.
Yeah, not cooking, no. But I will go grocery shopping and get, especially when I'm up north, man, I got to have that drinking water. I can't drink that well stuff. So I'll typically get a gallon of water per day I'm there.
Okay.
A lot of beef jerky.
Okay, a lot of beef jerky. Yeah, so you're going to go grocery shopping up there? You can drink water, some beef jerky?
Yeah. And then maybe some rice cakes. I'll get snack foods,
Okay.
Stuff that I can eat on the road instead of pulling into a McDonald's or something. If I'm hungry, I'll just take a couple pieces of beef jerky.
Well, that's good. Cake. So you're not doing that, though? Are you ever just grabbing into McDonald's?
If I do swing into a McDonald's, it's like a 20-piece nugget,
Oh.
And that's it.
That's it?
Lots of, I don't do the fries and all that stuff. I'm just saying, just protein for me, or what they call protein.
Yeah, those aren't, I don't know what those are. We used to call them salmonella chunks. That's what we used to call them.
Yeah. I mean, I'll do it.
Nobody laughs at that joke like they used to.
Yeah, nah. Salmonella, it's just stop becoming funny. It's like something happened, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like we're hurting the birds' feelings or something. I don't know.
Gotta care about things' feelings.
Not chickens. Maybe we should. I don't know. Whatever. Okay. Well, so we're gonna water. We're gonna beef jerky.
Yeah.
If you're gonna grab fast food, it would be a better decision to pick something else. Yeah. Chicken nuggets are not good for you.
Like a burger.
No.
Don't eat the bun.
No.
See,
that's not gonna work.
Grilled chicken sandwich.
Yeah, that's pretty much all you're gonna get. You get the chicken salad.
Yeah.
And that's my move. I don't do. It's like a snob.
Yeah.
I don't eat fast food anymore. I haven't in a long time.
On his pedestal.
Yeah. So cool. Got it all figured out. Yeah. But I don't. But what I do when I travel is what do I do when I travel? Because I didn't at all last year. I wake up, I usually work out. So I'll always work out fasted because I want to create like an energy demand. which is going to help you process and absorb your calories more efficiently. So when I do eat crap later, and I'll just eat light throughout the day. So I'm going to take some protein powder. I'm going to take creatine most likely, depending on how long the trip is. I don't want to go more than a couple, 2-3 days without it. And I'm going to pack some shaker bottles so I can have protein shakes. And so I'll probably do protein shake, and I might also grab some beef jerky too, but maybe some fruit.
Yeah.
Something like that from the grocery store, something like that. And I'm going to keep my protein up, but my calories low throughout the day, because I know when I go out at night. Now, when I'm traveling, I'm on vacation though, so it's probably a little different mindset. Because I want to enjoy myself, I'm going to let go of the reins a little bit, and so I'm going to go have a nice meal. But even when I have a nice meal, it's going to be like a big steak and a potato and a dessert. So the only real bad, quote unquote, bad thing there is going to be that dessert. Right? Yeah. I'm going to get a ton of protein. I'm going to get healthy carbs from the potato and oh man, I can't believe I just said that. I'm going to get some good carbs from the potato, and then I'm going to get a little bit dirty with that dessert. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the cheesecake.
It's not going to be cheesecake.
Get you fired up.
No, I can't do cheesecake, man. I don't want to be cranky the next day. But I will be a little bit lethargic and have a piece of cake, so I'm okay. I'll do a little bit of gluten. That'll mess me up a little bit the next day, but I'm willing to tolerate it on vacation. All right. But you can't do that, because then you're doing that 30% of your life, and that's not going to work. So, but you could follow the similar pattern of, hey, I work out fasted. I'm going to have a protein shake and some fruit after. Then you got to figure out something at lunch. Yeah. What do you normally do?
I'm either driving through lunch to get to the next appointment, or I'll have a lunch meeting.
When's work happen?
They're like meetings, like hour-and-a-half meetings, basically. So
what time?
I'll get to the city that my next meeting is in. I'll typically stay there the night before, and then do like a 9:30 to 11 o'clock meeting, and then on to the next one.
Gotcha. So you're going to work out first.
Yeah. You're
going to have some shake. You're going to have fruit. Does that work? Is that something you'd be willing to do? Would you be willing to pack up some protein powder?
Yeah. I just need to get some space in the suitcase, Pack that thing pretty full.
Aren't you driving?
I'm an overpacker. Depends,
Sometimes you fly.
Yeah, I'm flying tomorrow.
Okay, yeah. That's a bit of inconvenience
it's
with the powders.
Easy. Tomorrow I'm only going for 2 days, so I just pack a bigger suitcase, and I can easily put the protein powder in there and shaker cup. I can do all that.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's legit. So you're gonna do your meeting, then you're gonna have some lunch. What are you gonna do at lunch?
I'll typically do like a chicken salad, or everything depends on where I'm at.
Are you going to a restaurant? Are you for lunch?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or ordering it from somewhere, or like a deli or something like that. Yeah. So, but basically, I could get a chicken salad from wherever.
Is that what you normally do?
I switch it up.
What are the options?
Options are unlimited. I mean, really.
What do you typically go to?
I'll do a chicken salad, or like maybe a chicken sandwich. Just depends. Yeah. I mean, if we're going somewhere nice, I'll get a steak.
For lunch?
Yeah, man.
Never done that my whole life.
I don't care what time I eat steak. Man. I just eat steak, bro. I can't blame you. Doesn't matter what time it is.
It's totally understandable.
This is what I mean. You got that regimen. You know what I mean? Got to hit them with it.
Steak.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I do get that regimen. Certain things only happen at certain times of the day. All right, so that's pretty good. You're not doing anything crazy at lunch then.
Right.
You're already good to go there.
Yeah.
Right? You don't have bad habits around it. You're not like, hey, I'm going to get this giant cheeseburger and fry. It's lunchtime.
Yeah. I mean, my last couple trips, I feel like I've done better than I have in a long time. Because, a lot of times it'll be like, well, with the exception of one day, I gotta say, one day I did enjoy myself at the Mexican restaurant, and then at the bar next door,
Was that in the evening?
Yeah.
You would never do that at lunchtime. No, because you got work. You got something after.
Right. I got you. And it's funny, like, and even still, I mean, I got follow-up notes and all that stuff to do in the hotel when I get back.
Okay.
But it was one day that I didn't have to travel. I was staying in that city again the next day. So I went out for a nice, some fajitas. One margarita led to two.
I got you.
After two margaritas, you're like,
got
let's
taste
go
going.
Next door. And I'm like, what?
Got them fired up.
I'm like, what's there to do here in Iron Mountain? You know what I mean? And like, well, there's a bar next door. I said, cool, I'll check that out.
Yeah.
And then I sampled all the beers they had on tap.
All of them.
Everyone.
Hey, like I said, get them taste buds going.
That's right.
I have a possible solution for you that might help you over the hump. When you do travel, how many days at a time typically? What's the average?
Typically, it's between 2 and 4.
Okay. How many of those go sideways, would you say? Like, man, I should have ate better. I could have done better this time.
I mean, I feel like I'm disappointed in myself every time I come home.
Okay. When you travel, if you only let the reins go on one of those nights, would that be okay with you? With your conscience? You'd be coming home like, you know what, that was a win.
I said last trip I felt pretty good about it. I was gone for a whole week. And I only had one night where I was like, I drank. You know what I mean? Like,
You let the reins off. It's fine.
The other night I did go to a nice steakhouse and enjoyed a huge steak and some potatoes and a dessert, but no drinks. That was just a water day. So
gotcha.
Yeah. But other than that, I mean, I feel like it was a success. But I mean, you get bored sitting in the hotel room by yourself, and it's like you venture out, and what's there to do in northern Michigan in the snow but drink? You know what I mean? So
you can't go running through the cornfields.
Yeah, no, there's no corn. It's all snow.
Yeah, fields are covered in snow.
Yeah, but I mean, like when I'm in Traverse City, I'll go for a walk. I'll walk through downtown Traverse City, and
for sure.
So I think come back to the hotel and chill out.
What you said is exactly what I was thinking. All right, what if, hey, you know what? I'm gonna get my workout in. I'm going to get my protein shake and my piece of fruit, and I'm gonna have a sensible lunch. And then at night, when I go out, I'm gonna also eat good. Except one of the nights, I'm gonna let myself eat what I want and have some drinks. Right. So if you got four nights you're somewhere else, and one of those is, hey, I'm enjoying myself. The other one's I'm taking care of myself. It's a good way to look at it. You'd feel good about that. That's exactly what I was thinking. So because if you say no, every night I'm not going to, you could do it, but as soon as you don't, you have to feel bad about yourself.
Right.
I didn't do what I said I was going to do. But if you have that you have the option. One, the first couple nights, you can stick to the program because well, on this third night I'm going to do that, and it lets you off the hook. That was one of the things I realized about the cheat meals. It used to be a thing people said all the time. Right. You would eat good all week, and you have a cheat meal on Saturday. Right. It was kind of the way people did it. But it's not a great way to eat, but it's a tool that you could temporarily use because it helps you to stay disciplined during the week.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so since it was okay, you didn't have to go beat yourself up over it. So I think that would be a possible solution for the nutrition. Have a plan for your day. You run the same day with same nutrition, but on that one, when you get to pick whatever night it is, hey, I'm gonna go check out this restaurant. I'm gonna get this meal. I'm gonna do what Jeremy wants to do.
Right. Yeah. It's funny you bring up the cheat meal though, because it's like I was a big fan of that, but the cheat meal turns into the cheat day, turns into the cheat weekend, turns into the I'll start again on Monday. You know what I mean? And
it can.
It does.
It can.
Yeah, it sure can.
Yeah.
I'm living proof. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, well, there's no change without some sort of discipline.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
And you just got to get the wins because the next day you're like, you feel good about what you did.
Right.
Yeah.
You're
like, oh, that rewards the behavior. I feel good about it. Yeah, I'm going to do it again. So you just got to build the accountability in so you do it. And I think having the cheat day or cheat evening, I think I think it's a good start. And here's the thing that people need to realize. You put a plan together, you run the plan, and if it worked, great. If it doesn't work, what do?
Revise the plan.
You revise the plan.
Yeah.
No, you quit because it's too hard and I can't do it and I'm a loser.
Hey, definitely give up.
Yeah, that's the program most people go on. They're gonna try something. It's not gonna work because what do you know, really? What do you know about yourself? Nothing. So you're trying to change your behavior, which is not an easy thing to do for anybody. So you put a plan together and then you try and execute the plan. If it doesn't work, you need to say, you know what, is the plan too hard? Where do I need to make adjustments? And at some point you're gonna go, no, it's not the plan, it's me. This plan is totally fine. And then you're gonna start to find your traction. Right. It's the downward psychological spiral of, oh, I decided to do something. I didn't do it as I thought I was going to do it. And now I'm a loser. And now what's wrong with me? Now I can't stick to anything. Right. Forget all that. Now I need to revise my plan.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think the cheat meal helps you with that. Now, if it turns into 2, like, you got to look at the plan again or say, did I just not execute it well?
Just make sure you only get one next week. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Forget about what happened in the past.
That's 100%. Hey, plan's still good. Just going to check on myself. Plan's still good. I got to execute better.
Right.
You know, I said this multiple times on the podcast. You know, I knew I needed to start reading again. I was out of the habit of reading, and I was like, you know what? I need to read an average of an hour a day. It took me 2 months before I finally hit it.
Yeah.
But the plan was not a bad plan.
Right.
It was me.
Yeah, you got to figure out a way to, you know, I mean, if it matters to you, you'll find a way to do it, right?
Yeah, just don't beat yourself up and hey, another week.
Yeah.
Got another week to shoot.
I find that's the hardest thing to do, though. Is
hit the reset?
And not beat yourself up.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, this comes back, you know, this is something everybody deals with. You know, your brain starts to tell the story that it's been telling it for a long time. And this is, you know, just to highlight how long people have been dealing with this. Well, forever, but it's all through the dang Bible, right? Like, how come there's this thing that I want to do that I don't do, and then there's these things that I don't want to do that I do, right? I think it's in one of the Gospels. Like, so it's been going on for at least
exactly like that, I believe.
It's very similar to that. It's actually very similar. And so the solution is when you find yourself thinking about something you don't want to be thinking about, stop thinking about it. You don't have to think about it.
Yeah.
You don't have to.
That's true.
You don't have to be thinking about that right now.
Right.
You could think about anything else, right? And that becomes something you get better at. That's another skill, right? Like, oh, why am I thinking about that? Forget that. That's dumb. I'm not thinking about that.
Right. But you gotta be able to control that. I think that's
the skill.
Something that's very difficult for myself
for
for a lot of people.
For sure.
Like that negative thought spiral, once that gets going, like it just keeps amplifying and getting worse and worse and worse.
Well, why though?
That's a great question.
Because you're allowing it to run around in there.
Right. But a lot of people don't have the consciousness like, oh, I'm thinking about this. You know what I mean? I need to stop thinking about this.
For sure.
It's allowing it to continue and not stopping it. See, you're very conscious of thought processes and stuff like that.
Because
you practice it, I'm guessing.
Whoa. What?
And everybody wonders what you do in your spare time, man.
Practice not thinking about stuff I don't want to think about. But you're 100% right. Step 1 is become aware. Oh, I'm thinking about this thing. And step 2 is stopping yourself. Now, here's what's going to happen. You're going to try, and you'll do it for a little bit, and then you find, oh, I'm thinking about it again. Then you stop it again. And so eventually those times domains just get shorter and shorter.
Right. Okay.
You know, and they kind of vanish. But don't fall into the process of how come I can't make myself stop thinking about it, right? That's just another dumb thing to be thinking about. You could be thinking about anything right now. You could be thinking about the good things. I think that's where a gratitude practice comes in. It's because you're like consciously deciding to focus on what's good in your life and bring that into your, you know, spatial awareness or whatever's going on in your head up there. I think that's a antidote, if you will, to thinking about the things that are quote unquote bad or things that there's no value in it.
Right.
You know?
Oh,
so 2 steps: be aware of it, and then redirect your thinking to somewhere else.
Yeah.
I used to do it too.
It's a practice. You know,
I'm working
on it.
Yeah. I had a thing that, man, I'd beat the crap out of myself about.
Yeah.
And when I couldn't get out of doing the thing until I stopped beating myself out of it. You would think that it was, I can't even remember how I was going to word that. You would think you'd stop the thing and you stop beating yourself up. But no, I had to stop beating myself up to stop doing the thing. Because anytime the habit would show itself, I would just, instead of me thinking about the habit and is this effective, is this benefiting my life in some sort of logical and healthy way, I would just go down the rabbit hole. I'm a loser, and why am I doing this? And is it ever going to stop?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I get on people about stuff they do is stupid, you know, and I want to stop doing that. So I'm getting better about it.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. I catch myself falling
down a judgment path.
Yeah,
for sure.
You know, it's like, that's dumb. Why are they doing that? It's dumb. You know,
they're so stupid.
Yeah, but they enjoy it. You know, let them experience joy. Stop dulling people's shine. You know. But it's hard work. It's hard work. I'll tell you that. It's You know, I see myself getting mad in traffic. You know, about how people are driving and stuff.
Yeah,
it's like, it ain't that big of a deal.
Well, you can't control them, that's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, but damn it if I haven't tried, you know?
Well, you know, we're going to try.
Gonna try. Gotta try.
Yeah, that podcast I sent yesterday was pretty good.
Yeah, I got to check that out still.
It outlines some stuff.
Yeah, Tia gets deep.
Yeah, that guy he's talking to was really good. The guy, he just explains things in a very, like, logical and, like, oh, yeah, that's what's happening. That makes sense. That's why somebody would do that.
Yeah, I think a lot of that stuff needs to be a little bit more digestible. Like that Huberman one that you sent, dude. That was way over my head.
Was it? Which one was that?
I forget it. Is
This was the one with the books? I'm doing the books on uncovering
like the happiness,
the development of the unconscious mind.
Yeah. But it's like he went through some thought process.
Oh, that one. Yeah. That one was, I didn't really follow that one either, to be honest. I just felt like maybe some other people would grab onto it. The one I just sent, he talks about that in a similar way, but a different perspective, and it makes way more sense.
Right.
It makes way more sense.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. But this one's about trauma and dealing with all that.
Yeah. Well, one of the things I don't want to, it was a good moment for me, and I don't want to take it away from you by being a spoiler, but he gave an example of a kid. So he painted a scenario of some parents doing some things.
Right.
And then he gave an example of a behavior that a child might do to help out the situation.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, that makes total sense. And now since anytime we do something that feels good or works, we get rewarded, and that behavior starts to get repeated. And if something happens at 4 and that gets repeated for 20 years,
right,
you're going to carry that right into your next relationship. You're not even going to be aware of that's what you're doing or why you're doing it. And that was that's part, it's stuck in my head. Like, it was like, oh, that makes total sense.
Yeah.
So it was a really good listen.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out.
What was the podcast called, since we're talking about it? People want to give it a listen. It was Peter Tia.
I'd have to pull up my
it's basically uncovering trauma or something like that on the Drive podcast. The Drive. It was good. It was good. The guy's from Texas. He talks like a Texan.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
I love Texans,
he's got a little slang.
Yeah,
That's slang.
That's my spot, dude.
What's it called?
Draw. Southern draw.
Accent?
Oh, yeah, it's an accent, but
yeah, I can't think of it.
Yeah.
All right. So did we find we found a couple solutions. We have a plan.
Yeah.
You feel pretty good about what you do at home? You don't feel like is there anything you want to explore there?
I mean, I do. Like, I think my frustration lately is like I've been doing, like, my nutrition's been more on point than it ever has, and I feel like I'm still like ballooning out. You know what I mean? So there's definitely some things that need to be corrected. Sleep being a major one. I'm not doing that enough. But yeah, I think I'm planning on doing
Let's just tackle this.
All right.
You know what I mean? Because, hey, we could look at sleep too. Hey, we could try and button it. Hey, you want to start tracking and see? It just comes to, it's just too much. Yeah. I mean, these are some pretty big changes you're going to have to, and it's going to take like mental energy. It's going to take some focus. You're going to have some battles. Right. Your brain's going to start saying, man, you could have 2 nights of this blowing it up, man. Hey, dude, tonight's the night. So, I mean, it's up to you. I would recommend like doing less. I'm always a big component of, let's find some layups. Let's find some things we know we can square up that won't be too difficult, and let's go from there. Because then when you get those incorporated, you start to think, oh, I can do it. Right. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. I think even just with the basic plan that we got, I mean, traveling, I'm more confident traveling now because it's been a stressor. You know what I mean? Like,
totally.
Oh, I got to, get to this spot and then figure out what I'm going to eat, what's around there, what gyms are around there, what's a hotel look like, and then nothing happens.
Yeah, no kidding.
Just overanalyze everything and think that I'm going to do something, and then when the alarm goes off in the morning, I'm like, damn, I love these pillows.
Nice pillows in this hotel.
Just close my eyes again, and I'm out,
So you don't sleep on the floor?
Hell no. Did I not tell you my disdain for hotel room floors? It's gross, man. People walking around in bare feet.
Oh, I never thought about that. Man, it's stuff I never think about. Dude. See, I'll do an Airbnb.
Yeah, I mean, the Airbnb is great, but
you think it's less?
Way less, yeah. But still, people are walking around with gross feet, dude.
They are. People do have gross feet. You got to think with feet.
Yeah, I mean, they're just gross, and their ability to carry fungus and how contagious that is.
I mean, it's good for you. Small exposures to things good for your immune system.
Okay,
just so you know. Okay, so I think we got a good plan together. I don't know if I wouldn't take on any more, to be honest, from like a coaching perspective. But what we can do is we could plan on letting you execute this and see how it goes. Obviously, you and I will continue to talk about this, but it'd be fun to do like an update if you've been, whatever, just to do an update like 3 or 6 months from now. And then, if things are moving in the right direction, it'll be, hey, let's work on another part.
Yeah.
This is pretty straight now. Things are going pretty good. What other area do you want to get kind of squared away?
I mean, just at home, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like, there's goals that I want to tackle at the gym, but I feel like I'm getting to the gym consistently when I am home. Anytime I can make it to the gym, I'm there,
Yeah.
Maybe some workouts for the days that I can't make it. But I have all the equipment that I need at the house to basically do almost every workout that we do at the gym. But yeah, I think sleep is something I got to work on my own. But yeah, I'm just trying to drop 50 pounds and see how much easier pull-ups are at that point.
It'll be interesting if this change in your travel isn't enough to start shifting the needle on the scale.
Yeah, I hope so, because I feel like I'm stuck. And that's like the most frustrating part, it's like I go into the gym and I give it a lot, it might not be my all, but I've come close to throwing up a few times.
Yeah. Well,
so I know I'm gutting it out there.
Well, you just need more metrics, don't make the scale the only metric for your success with your fitness, because you're way healthier than you would be if you were doing nothing. Infinitely more.
Yeah.
You get the endorphins, you get to feel better about yourself. Your strength numbers are going up. Your conditioning numbers are going up. Like, your fitness is improving. The scale is a terrible metric for your health. It really is, because you could be killing it 6-7 days a week and you still have these 30 or 40 pounds you want to lose, and you feel like it's not working.
Yeah. Because
that one metric is not doing what you want it to do. And now you just have this very inaccurate interpretation of what's going on. It is working. You are getting fitter. You are keeping your blood glucose more regulated with activity, and your lipids, and your inflammation is going to be in a better position. Everything's going to be better for working out.
Right.
But if the scale is the only metric, then you just don't feel that way.
Definitely not the only metric. I want to lean out quite a bit, but again, one thing at a time.
Yeah, let's do one thing at a time.
Take on too much and nothing happens.
Exactly.
That's
what people be doing out there. All right, let's call it a wrap. Thanks for coming on, Jeremy.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Hey, if you guys got any questions for Jeremy, fire them off. Dennis@DennisFenrich.com. Next podcast, to be determined.
Oh.
Do you have a suggestion, Jeremy?
Yeah, I got a lot of suggestions.
For a podcast?
Oh, no. Ray, we were talking about earlier, man. You got to get Coach Ray in here.
Yeah, we definitely need to do that before we need to talk about some old stories.
You want to increase some numbers.
I'd like to talk to Ray about his coaching experience and, kind of learning and getting his confidence up and all that stuff. It'd be fun to kind of go through all that. But I got to do a solo podcast for another few more weeks before many more guests come on. I got to come up with one.
If I think of something, I'll email you. Dennis.
Dennis. You want me to write that down?
Yeah, I'll write it down.
Yeah, take a note there. Dennis@DennisFenrich.com. That'd be great.
Yeah, I'll start loading you up with questions there.
That'd be great. I like questions. I thought about doing a podcast where I just pick some hot topics and rant about them. That might be it for next week.
There.
Get on a soapbox.
Good topic too. Hot topic.
Like what?
Careful, it's trademark.
Creatine's hot. Everybody's talking about creatine right now.
Creatine?
Yeah.
Is that the same as creatine?
Creatine? Did I say it wrong?
I don't know, man. I don't know. You have more experience with it than I do.
That's for sure. All right, homie. Good chatting with you. All right, guys. Appreciate your attention and time, and we will see you next week. All right, bye.